Welcome back to the Gridiron Expert. Whether you love him or you hate him, the Hugh Freeze hire at Auburn was fantastic. Freeze comes in with a 74-47 mark as a head coach. He went to 2 New Year's Six bowl games at Ole Miss, had 2 wins over Nick Saban during his time at Ole Miss. He knows the SEC, he knows the region, he knows how to recruit. He's proven he can win anywhere, whether it was Arkansas State, Ole Miss, or Liberty. But the million-dollar question is, can he help Auburn succeed in year 1 after the Tigers had a very disappointing 5-7 season in 2022? Well, Auburn right now has a lot of concerns and a lot of questions. The biggest one, who's going to be their quarterback? We're here to address those concerns and maybe answer that question today on the Gridiron Expert. So welcome back, guys. We're so glad that you could join us today as we break down a little bit of Auburn spring football right now. As always, please continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below because, again, here at the Gridiron Expert, football never dies. The college football season never ends, and we want you to become a part of that conversation. We want you to take advantage of that, and we want you to become a part of our GE Nation and what we are building right here on our channel. So take advantage of it. Like, comment, subscribe, hit that notification button so you don't miss out on any of our future videos, including predictions, game-by-game predictions for every single college football school in 2023. Do not want to miss that. And again, we want you to be here with us on the Gridiron Expert. So let's take a look at Auburn. Again, the Hugh Freeze hire, I was a huge fan of. We just ranked our new the top 10 new coaching hires right here on the channel, and go check out that video. And Hugh Freeze was in our top 5 out of the 24 new coaches that were hired. It's going to be a great hire, but it might not transition into success in year 1. But you look at the quarterback battle right now. Hugh Freeze is an offensive guy. We know that. He's going to help with that quarterback development. The new offensive coordinator for Auburn, in Philip Montgomery, the former head coach at Tulsa, is going to help develop whoever is at quarterback. I think he's a brilliant offensive mind as well, and a very underrated hire that I don't think people are talking nearly enough about. The staff is in place to help progress whoever gets the nod at quarterback for Auburn in 2023. The million-dollar question is, who is it going to be? When you break down the candidates, it's 3 candidates right now. We'll start with Robbie Ashford, maybe the fan favorite as of right now, maybe the guy that has the most upside at that quarterback position. Obviously, this is a guy that had solid experience last year, threw for over 1,600 yards, 7 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, rushed for over 700 yards and 7 touchdowns last year, had over 100 rushing yards against both Mississippi State and Alabama in 2022. If you look at the entire body of work, Robbie Ashford might be the most complete quarterback on Auburn's roster. And again, is a guy that can really take off with the right coaching and with the right development. I mean, he's a guy that had 337 passing yards in a 4-point loss to LSU last year. He's a guy that still rushed for over 700 yards last year, but he does have to improve on his accuracy. I think the mobility is there, and we know Hugh Freeze wants to come in and run that RPO-style offense that he's run basically everywhere he's been. Ashford might be the guy that's built the best to do that, but he only completed 49.2% of his passes last year. That has to improve, and has to improve drastically. Hugh Freeze came out just recently and said that, you know, while he's watching all 3 quarterbacks on their roster, he does wish that they all were further along with kind of grasping the RPO style, with grasping and understanding the RPO game, and that they've all kind of been wildly inconsistent. And I think that's a good word to use for Robbie Ashford's season last year, and hopefully something that he'll improve upon heading into this next year. But he has competition. Ashford's not a lock. You've got TJ Finley on the roster as well. And then he thought that maybe he wouldn't stick around. We didn't know what to expect for TJ Finley, but he's still there. And he has the most experience out of any quarterback on the roster, even though he was injured for the majority of last year, only attempting 53 passes. In 2021, he threw for 827 yards, 6 touchdowns, just 1 interception, of course, coming in to replace Bo Nix. He did start the bowl game in 2021 against Houston, so does have postseason experience. And then, he transferred to Auburn from LSU, and in 2021, at LSU, had 941 yards, 5 touchdowns, and just 5 interceptions. So, that was maybe 2020. But anyways, he has plenty of experience. Experience at LSU, experience at Auburn, but he has kind of been inconsistent. Hasn't been great, hasn't been extremely flashy. And for Finley to win this job, obviously he has to be more consistent, but he also has to stay healthy. If he's not healthy, if he's not 100%, he's not going to get that nod, or his stay as a starting quarterback will not be very long. And again, it feels like right now, if you had to compare the two, especially from a mobility standpoint and just from a potential standpoint, Ashford seems to have more upside over TJ Finley, despite Finley having more experience. The third quarterback on Auburn's roster is kind of a guy that people maybe aren't talking about nearly enough, but he seems to be taking pretty big strides. That's Holden Geriner right now. Hugh Freeze and the staff have said, they've all been inconsistent, but that Geriner has been the guy that seems to be really improving, seems to be taking the biggest strides forward, that maybe he could be contending for that starting job, but at the least could get the backup job on the depth chart, which, if we see inconsistent play from whoever's the starter, Geriner could pop in and become that starter at some point in the 2023 season. But obviously, Geriner is just a freshman. He has the least experience between the other two guys above him in Ashford and Finley. He has been working with the first team offense in practice, which is obviously getting some great and valuable reps, working with the guys that we expect to be the starters in 2023. He's standing out, he's improving, but will he get the nod? That's the question. Obviously, Auburn spring game is coming up here in just a few weeks. It's going to be a great opportunity for Hugh Freeze and this new staff to kind of really get a true measuring stick of what these quarterbacks are capable of. What can these guys do in some in-game situations? The 18th ranked quarterback prospect out of high school. He's got the talent, got a lot of upside, but like Finley, like Ashford, has to continue to work on his accuracy. And that's something that, once again, Hugh Freeze has iterated time and time again during his very short stint so far as the Auburn head coach. There's a battle on the plains right now. There's no doubt about it. There is a battle between three quarterbacks fighting to be that starting quarterback for the Tigers. And what isn't a make-or-break year by any means, but a year where Hugh Freeze needs to come in and succeed. A year where he needs to probably win 7 or 8 games. Auburn fans, we know you're impatient. You're excited. You're impatient. You want to win. You want to beat Alabama. You want to contend. There's no reason they shouldn't. There's no reason they can't. 5-7 last year, unacceptable. No doubt about that. Hugh Freeze, I do believe, will be better than that. But a lot of their success is going to hinge on who is that starting quarterback. And right now, if I had to pick, I would lean Robbie Ashford's way. I think he is the best fit for the offense that Hugh Freeze wants to run. That RPO-style offense, I think Ashford's the guy. I think he's the most mobile. I think he's got the best frame. He's got one heck of an arm. If he can work on that accuracy, if he can work on being consistent, he can be very, very dangerous. And we've seen Hugh Freeze develop some dangerous quarterbacks over his time as a head coach. Again, at every single stop that he's had, and I have no doubt he can do the same at Auburn. The million-dollar question is, will it take place in year one? Or will Auburn fans have to be a little bit more patient and get ready for a bigger lead from their quarterbacks and from their team in year two? So guys, as always, thank you so much for watching us here at the Gridiron Expert on YouTube. Make sure to continue to like, comment, subscribe, share our videos, and of course, check out everything down in the description below. Again, this is the place for college football. The season never ends here at the Gridiron Expert. We want you to become a part of that. We want you to take advantage of that. We want you to become a part of our GE Nation as we get closer and closer to the start of this college football season. And once again, guys, as always, thank you so much for watching, and we'll see you next time right here on the Gridiron Expert.